Very quickly, a couple of words about the curriculum process. In Finland, we have three different levels. Like Erkko said, first, the national level, national core curriculum, as we call it, is designed with a numerous number of experts all over the country. They are creating work groups of different subjects and prepare the national core curriculum for about easily for 2-3 years at least. After that is finished, then we have the second level, which is the local level. For example, in our case, the city of Oulu. Municipality level curriculum is then designed also in working groups. And after that is the third and final level, which is the school curriculum. Every school can emphasize a little bit of those subjects that they think they are able to implement in somehow more complete way. But in general, the national core curriculum, like Erkko said, covers the basic objectives. But please keep in mind that teachers can also choose themselves the books, the study books, the exercise books, and so forth. And we have several publishers in Finland who obviously compete about the customers, and they want their books to be utilized in school. And finally, I used to work for 2 years in the Ministry of Education in Namibia, Africa, and there I have learned also that in some countries the teachers are very heavily regulated, which is not the case in Finland. But for example, there the teachers absolutely had very little freedom. All the lessons were planned beforehand on a national level, and the idea, the goal was that every teacher follows the ready-made lesson plan in a certain minute by minute schedule, more or less, and that is and has never been the case in Finland. Like Erkko was saying, the teachers are very independent and autonomous in our schools. Thank you.
Yes, this gives now you the chance to compare. This is one of these questions, this is one of these topics that teachers give very much different weight. So now you ask another teacher and you will have another answer. But in physics and in natural sciences and STEM, usually the classroom is where the action is. But in order to truly learn, you need this time of self-perception. You need a time. Now we are talking about maybe we talk a little about learning theories now once we are at it. Since okay, I believe that it's nice in school when if we have tools and teachers and friends and books, we do the learning, meaning at this time that we gain some new knowledge. But once we gain new knowledge, it does not come the part of our own knowledge system unless we chew it. And there's always this phase of active learning, and then there is the phase of passive, and that's in quotes, in phase of things, yeah, that you don't do nothing, but your brains work with the things you have learned during the day. This probably is the best case. Now we are talking with each other, and we are changing ideas, but we are not yet doing anything else. But in the evening, when you go home and these topics go around in your head and you create the synthesis, you probably want to check something from the internet. You wish to read some source. What was this? What was that? That's where the in-depth learning happened. It's so funny. Mr. Einstein was once asked if he carries a notebook or something. And Albert answered, no, because good ideas are so rare that you don't need any book for them. So in my personal paradigm, the homework is the part of the work you do for yourself to learn deeply, more deeply than what you can in the hectic situation of the classroom. So the homework should support the work that's done at school. And it's very limited amount of things you can learn, at least in a typical evening at home. Of course, some of us, it's very, very, very personal. My own daughter, who's now studying biology, she had a, she said, poor teacher. And she said that the school day is nothing but just getting the topic for your homework. And she spent the evenings beside her desk studying and learning. Okay, that's one way to do it. We have to, and you have to appreciate that way too. But typically, we believe that we teachers are important, and we believe that we give the correct information in the correct way. And the homework is the part that's done for improving. And now the assessment is another thing. I don't think that's involved. The homework should be assessed. I should check what they do at home. But I think it's also very, very private, because every one of us learns differently. So it's good. It's best of it is the way that you find what's the best for you. This is a major issue. This competitive part of STEM is of course it gets a lot of focus in media, and it for some people it also seems to be a great part of STEM. This Olympiad, science Olympiads and others. And you can approach it from different angles. I want to show you now one of the movies I just came past, and that this particular movie had a great influence on me. And I will just a second. I will give you here a screenshot. Give you a screenshot, and okay. This is one of the movies. I can give you two movies that those have affected me greatly. And oh dear, this is Finnish, but you can see the title piece. So I will give you this screenshot now. Here it is. It is in Finnish, but hopefully it comes out now. Okay, no way. This movie is the name of the movie is October Sky, and it's starred by Jake Gyllenhaal, and who was this lady who was the teacher. And this particular movie goes into 50s at the time of Sputnik, and a very poor village of mining. And Jake Gyllenhaal is a young scientist, and he is very, very interested in rocketry. And there's all sorts of difficulties, of course there has to be. And his teacher was very supportive. Very, very beautiful story, and very good watching for teachers. This movie also goes to the okay, probably you got this one, the October Sky, and this movie goes to the time when these festivals of science or science Olympiads were an important part of university student taking. So they, at those times in the United States, I don't exactly know where that came from. It's also an old European habit. The potential students showed the skills by accomplishing projects, and these projects were given out in these science festivals or whatever, and they were these headhunters of universities going around and picking students based on their performances, showing the results of their work, of their science projects. Now we can ask, if this is a good way to do the picking of the students. It's quite a harsh way. It's a tough competition, and it's not fun how tough it goes. And it goes to the question in a way that very often what happened, and you can see it in all sorts of comics, is that the parents and the groups of close people get just a little bit overexcited. They just probably get a little bit too involved. So yes, doing science project is exciting, and yes, attending science Olympiads is very, very rewarding, and it should be encouraged, but it does have its time and its place, and most definitely it should not be the only goal. So, but it's a lucky situation if you have a student that has both the skills and interest to take part of these sorts of events, and it should be encouraged in each and every way, but it shouldn't be like overwhelming, because in young age you can get a lot of self-confidence, but you can also like burn out your interest. You can just overdo it as well. In Finland, I would like to see more of this Olympic type of activity, but we do not have that sort of culture here. It's very hard to find. We do have, for example, this VEX robotics, which you may have heard of. Just Google VEX robotics, and we do have it here, and it's exciting, and some pupils are really into it. They use a lot of time for it, but it's not very popular. It's not the way we used to do things. In Finnish science education or STEM education, it's so democratic. You have to do work, but it's, should I say, it's a sin to show out. You should be modest, you should behave, and if you try too much, you look like arrogant, and that is unfortunate. We would like to see more great personalities. We would like to see the pupils really get those projects and get excited and flourish and show out, but it's not in our culture. Of course, the resource question is the big one. But if you have students who have the skill and you have and they also have the interest to go out, then there's nothing more to say than that you should support that every way you possibly can. And that means getting money from somewhere, whatever it is. It may be private sector, it may be some sort of a collective. You can raise money in the internet. What is this? You know this internet funding things. But, well, it depends. There are regulations of what you can do and where you can get money for the school activity. I don't know about your system, but I do like the Olympics. I do like them. I do think they are great entertainment, and I have had fantastic experiences of pupils who have had encouragement and positive experiences from them. But I still don't think they are any solution for everybody. Not everybody is happy to take such an effort, and it doesn't make them worth scientists or engineers if they are like that. Actually, I have some phenomenal students and some great careers made by the students who wouldn't never go to any public with their inventions or projects. We do co-teaching whenever possible. Unfortunately, it's not very often possible because of the curriculum timetable making. But I must say that some occasions when we have been co-teaching with, in the other hand, other physics teacher or another discipline teacher, once we get the chemistry of teachers, it's very important to look at the roles of a teacher. So you have to have if you have good chemistry, if you are good friends with your colleague, then I must say that those have been probably the best moments of my teaching career, when we have had the possibility to teach. Especially I remember one astronomy course when we had this happy situation that it was I and then was this other younger teacher, and we were cooperating with a very large group of pupils, and we were having so much good time. We succeeded to complement each other in the way that it really made us all better. It made me better teacher, and it probably made him also a better teacher, and the pupils also had so much more of it. When you have co-teaching, you have this different type of dynamics in a class. When you're teaching in a class, you cannot help that you keep some sort of focus in teacher, and you give, of course, you give group teamworks and others. But when there was two teachers in a class, it was like the entire time there was like dynamic interaction, exchange of ideas, and also the mutual appreciation. That time I found out that whenever you teach alone, as you usually do, you tend to keep the facts for yourself. But when there's two, when you do it well, you find it out you find out that you're more or less constantly interacting and exchanging, and you're playing the ball, and you're asking what if, and so on. And it gives so much more to the students when they see that the scientific process is not something that happens inside someone's head, but it's constant asking and developing ideas and reflecting. Could it be this way? Could it be that way? So whenever it's possible, I always encourage co-teaching. It's very, very giving. Once you can make sure that you don't start arguing with each other in the front of the class, that would not be optimal for learning. But you can have the instructive and assistive roles. You can have the instructive roles from different points of view, or you can have some other role making for the teachers. But it is great fun, and everyone should do it.
And as an information to everybody who is present in the webinar, on behalf of the Oulu University Teacher Training School, I'm happy to inform you that we organize webinars also about co-teaching. So in case there is interest, I'm sure we can discuss with Almas and others about the possible arrangement of such a topic later on.